The thing that was really consistent in my childhood was food. It was something that it didn't have to be translated across any culture or any language. It was something that everyone had loved. That was sort of the beginning of my love language, and it was how they showed love to me. And it was something that I wanted to live and breathe my career into. I was born in Hong Kong. My mom is originally from here. She met my dad, who is originally Italian. They fell in love and moved back to Switzerland, where he was basically raised, and that's also where I grew up. I grew up mixed in Switzerland, and Switzerland's very traditional. and so I went to a school that had majority British people or majority American people, so there wasn't that many Asians at my school. It was really hard to bring back to that culture, especially going back to Hong Kong once a year. I ended up doing a bunch of different jobs, anything from Michelin star restaurants to coffee jobs, being a barista and working as an ice cream vendor. And then I landed a job in New York for advertising, and I focused on F&B brands. And I loved the job so much, but I wanted to be back in Hong Kong. My extended family's here, my grandparents are here, and I had never been that close to them, and I wanted to come back and be closer to my family, so I got a similar job, but back in Hong Kong, and that was 2019 when I moved here. I would say a reverse culture shock is exactly what I experienced. In Switzerland, you have a lot of recycling and a lot of composting. The government makes it free for everyone, so it's so easy to be sustainable. You recycle 13 types of plastic, and in Hong Kong, it's really difficult to recycle like one plastic bottle. And so when I moved back here, I had to unlearn all these things. It was really hard to unlearn all these habits that I had grown, like doing my own composting and growing my own herbs. 90% of the food in Hong Kong has been imported. We're in such a specific situation where Hong Kong is, where we can't grow our own food, and the landfill is based in Hong Kong, whereas in many countries it gets outsourced and gets thrown away to somewhere else. There was only 16 landfills, and of the 16, like only 2 of them were, and this is 2019, only 2 of them were empty. Even if the food is organic or it's made from organic material, which is like, let's say a salad leaf or a vegetable, and it's made in an organic farm and it's grown and it's harvested, and then it gets on your plate, you end up not eating it, and then it gets thrown away. It gets thrown away in a bag, and the bag gets thrown into a truck, into a landfill, or into a processing plant. It's still mixed with plastic and other materials, and it's mixed with textiles and electronic waste and plastic. So actually it's not in an environment where it can degrade properly. I started working on Chomp, and that was in 2020, and then we launched at the end of 2021 as a way to sort of give back to the F&B industry. We started thinking, okay, like how can we support these restaurants? Like how can we make them this extra cash whilst also reducing how much food is thrown away? Because you would end up with these massive black bags outside of bakeries, and it was all going straight in the trash. We saved just over 15,000 kilos of food, which is the equivalent of about 35,000 kilos of CO2 from emitting into the atmosphere. Once it's easy to use or simple, or it gets you a reward, a habit becomes quite easy to continue on. And that's kind of what we did with Chomp as well, where it was like, you get a massive discount. Everything on the app is at least 50% off, if not up to 80%. You save money, you save this food from going to waste, and at the same time, you're being sustainable. At the beginning, I would say the first 2 years was extremely lonely to try and understand, first of all, how to build an app, because it's not my background. I didn't know how to start. I wish I had done more research on like how to make things more accessible. Yes, the problem is food waste, but actually there are many little problems that are involved too. Like how do we bring this tech to businesses who don't have enough ability to, become a digital business? We have one bakery in Saimpun who's run by a grandmother. She's so cute. And she's the only one running her business. She doesn't use a phone. She doesn't use a tablet. She has a cashier till with old school buttons, and it comes up with a receipt. It's a very old machine, and she makes her bread daily by herself. She's the only one there. In some way, Hong Kong has all the resources to help you. It's so easy to get access to a lawyer, to set up your company registry. It's so easy to walk into a business and speak to them. Like, people are so open to talking to you. In other places that I've lived, sometimes it's hit or miss.
And you said you've been to like 8 countries. I ended up leaving Hong Kong.
Yeah, and I would never change that. I would always pick Hong Kong.